is seeming just a bit different now, isn't it? Well, if you're not believing me so, how about now? Hey, that's right, everybody. We're here in VR, and I'm gonna be talking about something that is super important right now. Right now it's obviously not up on the screen, but first, I want to say hello to everybody. I hope you all are having yourselves a good morning, day, night, evening, whatever time zone y'all are in right now. As for me, I'm having a good night at the moment because we're going to be talking about something that's been on my mind for a hot minute at the moment, and that is a Capcom Fighting Collection number fingers. That works. 3. We're going to be talking about Fighting Collection number 3 right now, throughout pretty much the entirety of the stream. If you hear random, I should at least give a small warning to anybody that is watching the stream. If you hear any random noises just kind of like popping up in the background, don't worry. Also, ignore what's happening with my eyes. The chroma key is kind of fucking up in OBS a little bit, but we're going to ignore it for now, alright? Don't even fucking bother! But anywho. Yeah, I have a whole fucking thing prepped at the ready for this whole presentation. And by the way, I'm gonna let you know right now, the music that you hear in the background, we're sadly not gonna be hearing any of it throughout the majority of the stream. Well, actually, any of it at all, if I'll be honest with you. And also, if you see me just holding up my hand like this, it's because, like, in real life, I'm like fucking... I have my old iPad up here, just because we're going to be using it for the presentation of what I have planned. Also, don't mind me looking over this way. I am just trying to make sure everything on stream is looking fine and dandy, and so far it is. Okay, and I believe with that in mind, let's actually get into position to what I want to talk about. That is this. Hey, alright. I'm gonna have to be way over here. Should I actually? Yeah, you know what? Actually, let me go ahead and move the camera a little bit to the left, actually, if this is going to be the case. Oh boy. Hold on, let me actually just... Forgive me, I was trying to make sure that everything was in proper working order earlier today, and right now it is seeming to just kind of be a little bit fucky. But I think we might be good. So yeah, also I'm gonna be standing like this a lot of the time because, yeah, this, and you can definitely tell my plans right off the gate, can't you? Alright, but we're gonna ignore all this for now, and we're just gonna work off out what we can. Alright, okay, so with that in mind, there we go. Music swoosh for now. We are going to get to looking into this stuff and realizing it. I'm probably gonna have to, like, yeah, give me 1 second actually. I'm trying to grab my pen for my iPad. Oh, both. Alright, well, holding my pen on with an index controller is definitely going to be a bit of a hassle, but we'll try to make it work. Forgive me. Okay. Oh fuck. Okay, there we go. Yeah, holding a fucking pen like this is gonna be a fucking nightmare. Alright. Also, things are gonna be slightly different because I'm hoping to turn this into a video later as well. So yeah, there is that. Will this be perfect? I don't know. I don't really plan on it being too perfect, but I mean, hey, we'll work with what we can get. Alright, how are we looking here? Are we looking... I did not... Did I? Hold on. Okay, yep, we're good. Oh, no, okay. Let me actually change the pen to a red, so that way it is very obvious. Really? Rogray really just wanting to just be a little dumb, huh? We're gonna ignore everything for now. Okay, So yeah, as said, I'm gonna go ahead and like turn this into like a whole video later. The VOD will still be up on my channel, but I just want to like kind of have a little bit of fun with this, you know, like just turn this into what I feel like might be pretty good to turn it into, just for fun, and like see how it can end up. Who knows? Will it be viewed by the public as something really good? I don't really care. If it does, it's just my personal brain just being like, I need to talk about this. I don't care who sees it. I just need it out of my system. So yeah, there's that. All right, but anywho, yeah, and also when it comes to this is all entirely just like an unscripted like thought process. I have not written a majority of stuff that I'm going to be talking about and mentioning in here. So yeah, and this is like the first time that I'm doing this. So if it turns out great, then hey, maybe I might do like more in the future. If not, then I mean, hey, it's whatever, I guess. All right. Okay. Anywho, how do I even begin this? That's the real question. All right, you know, I guess I'll just open it just by saying, hey, how we doing? This is a bit of a retrospective of what I think we're gonna be. Yeah, that's just fucking stupid. I don't really like doing intros most of the time whenever it does come to stuff. I'm only just fine with like doing the hey, hope you having a good morning, day, and evening thing with the stream. I funny enough rarely ever actually do like videos. Like the only time I'm ever fine with like being in videos is whenever I'm hanging with Shep a lot of the time, whenever we're playing Fort and all that shit. But anyway, enough of that. Let's actually just try getting into so well, hello everybody. This is definitely a bit different. I know you're probably wondering like what the fuck is this, huh? What are we doing here? What is all of this? Like, why are the logos for the fighting collections here? I'm about to get into it, so just hold your little horses just for a second, all right? But yeah, we are doing, or at least I am doing, a prediction status of what I think the next collection is going to look like. And if you're wondering why my left arm is just like hanging up here, is because in real life, that is the iPad that I'm using to display all of this. And yes, everything in real life looks heavily scuffed. Don't think about it. But anyway, we're not here to talk about how everything is set up. We're here to talk about my predictions of what I think the next few things that Capcom has planned is going to be. And that goes for the collections specifically, and what my thought process is on how I think the cfc3 is going to go. But yeah, with all this in mind, this is all just like what I personally think, and going off of what I know with Capcom and all their older games. I'm not going to say that it's 100% perfect, because there's like very little amount of like Capcom games that I personally know. I only just know some of the basic ones like Darkstalkers, Street Fighter, Puzzle Fighter, I guess. And even just like some of their mainline games like Devil May Cry, Devil May Cry. Fuck. But yeah, that's just kind of like the basics of what I really know when it comes to other fighters. I just only know like very few by like their names and stuff like that, like Project Justice, which is a part of this obviously. But anyway, we're here to talk about what I think the third one is going to be. Okay, so let me at least like put it into perspective like this. Hold on one sec. All right, want to get into a proper position so that way. Wanted to get into a proper position so that way I can at least like be over here and like give examples. All right, so for when it comes to it, we already know of 3 collections that are either out or coming out later down the line, and that would be the Capcom Fighting Collection #1, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, the arcade classics, and of course this one right up here, which is Capcom Fighting Collection 2. We all know what to expect with that one. because Capcom has gone ahead and exposed all the games already through the Nintendo Partner Direct that happened earlier before this month of September at the end of August, which is, we know that it is going to be containing all of these games that we see right here: SNK 1 and 2, Fighting Evolution, Alpha 3 Upper, Power Stone 1 and 2, as well as Project Justice and Plasma Sword. Now, for a lot of people, this is probably not too much of a big deal, but it's really kind of actually nice to put in perspective that a lot of these games have either not really seen the light of day since before the 2010s, or have never really had like a proper faithful arcade port for the majority of the time, or at least have never been properly ported outside of like certain console gens and stuff like that. And that's all good and well, but we are here to not really talk about what this game has come into, because I want to focus, as I said, on what the third one may potentially be. Reason why is because, as somebody who really grew up more as a PlayStation kid and more as like a dumb kid who played a lot of the games that only he really wanted to play a lot of the time, I never really got to play any sort of games that are like this for the majority of it. I really missed out on a lot of really big named classics, such as the Street Fighter series and in any sort of like other series in general, like a lot of Namco's mainstays, like some of the original Tekken games. I've never really played a lot of like Ratchet and Clank. The only one I ever played was I forgot which one it was called, but it was the one that was for the PS3. And I never really played any Jacks and Daxters or any sort of like that, any sort of games like that. I never played any sort of good classics growing up, except for maybe, if we want to go there, Crash Bandicoot, which I still think is really fucking cool. But when it comes to major named companies like Capcom, for instance, I never played much of their games, really. I probably played like one thing of Street Fighter 4 growing up on the PS3 because a friend of mine brought over a copy for us to try out for a bit. I thought it was good, but I never really got a chance to fully experience a lot of good classics back then. These collections so far have really been like one for me to like buy and like try them out and have fun with them. And I am really going forward with that and really for that nowadays. And and thinking about it as an adult now, I really would like to have a chance to try out these games really badly. I'm not going to lie with you. I would really, really, really love to try these. Because a majority of these either came out before I was born or when I was just still like a little lad that was fucking just in his own head a majority of the time. Like, I was just a small dude, just walking around, having no clue about anything on the outside world, and just playing his PS2 copy of the Robots movie. That's not a joke, by the way. I literally played like a lot of games that were based off of either shows that I liked or movies that I loved a lot. Like, I'm not kidding. I literally have like a PS2 copy of the original Iron Man game for when the movie originally came out. I'm not kidding when I say that. But anywho, when it does come to these games, I want to give them a try. And I want to really have a lot of fun with them. But my guess is, what kind of games do I really want to understand and play a majority? Well, from what I've seen with a lot of videos via through YouTube and even just doing some basic research to even find these fucking logos, forgive the fact that I'm like flipping off a lot. I don't know why, but finger tracking is just kind of like right now. When it comes to these games specifically, from what I've done with basic research, there are a majority of games that I would really like to go ahead and see. Now, how is this going to correlate with Fighting Collection 3 specifically? Well, I want to real quick point out, when it comes to it, forgive me while I just try to draw on my thing real quick. A majority of the games that are on this collection, at least with Fighting Collection 2, are pretty much like half and half of 2D and 3D. My prediction is this. A majority of the games in Fighting Collection 3 are going to be 3D, or at least a majority of them are going to be 3D games. So far, we technically have 5 games in this collection that are 3D. I say technically 5 because while Power Stone 1 and 2, Project Justice, and even Plasma Sword are 3D, Capcom versus SNK 2 technically does count because it's the same situation as Marvel vs. Capcom 2, where the backgrounds are 3D, but the characters and gameplay itself is all 2D. Meaning it's just like obviously pixelated characters in front of a 3D background, which I must say is pretty fucking cool. It really helps distinguish the characters between the backgrounds themselves and like the gameplay itself, obviously. But that's besides the point a little bit. What I personally think going forward with these collections is, as I said, that they're going to, for a majority of the part, be 3D. Now, why do I think that? Well, if we kind of look at it a little bit, and give me 1 second while I just get rid of this. There have been 2 guys who have been pretty much the majority of the reason why these collections are even a thing. That would be these 2 gents right here. Now, who are they, you ask? I am glad that you didn't, as I pull out my phone to reveal my notes real fast. I currently don't have my face visual for you, iPhone. I need to just open up you real quick. All right. All right, so these 2 gents right here are pretty much the 2 main fighting leads for Capcom. Their names are forgive me if I butchered these. Even my English of trying to pronounce Japanese names of any type just fail me a lot. Forgive me. My tongue just doesn't like to cooperate half of the time. Their names are Takeyuki Nakayama or Nakayama, I believe. Forgive me again if I butcher that. And it's kind of hard to see like past the headset. So, and Shuhei Matsumoto. Both of these men are the reason why these collections actually pretty much technically exist. Now I say that because they are also the men who made Street Fighter 6 exist. Why that is important is because I'm pretty sure if you know that if you have a group of people or even just 2 people or any sort of person in general that have a good idea and they are good with what they do, then hey, if you're really this good, then what's one project that you want to work on? And I wouldn't doubt that these 2 guys are the reason why that these collections exist. Because they are heavily in love with all of Capcom's old fighting games. All of them. I would not doubt that they're the reason why this collection exists, why this collection exists, and why this collection exists. Or at least are going to exist. This one has been out since 2022, and I have loved playing every one of the games ever since it came out. That goes for all of them. Every single one of them. Marvel vs. Capcom collection, I would not doubt that these 2 are the reason why we're getting this. Obviously, the game currently for the public isn't out yet, but I would not doubt that it would be fucking amazing, and you can bet your ass that I'm going to be streaming that game soon. Be ready when it does happen, because I'm pretty much sure I'm going to be streaming for the majority of the day. But anyway, besides the point, and I wouldn't doubt that they're the reason why this collection is even existing later down the line next year. Now, I know it is really, really early to even think about a 3rd collection right now, but I am too embedded into this to really just not, at least voice an opinion on what I think is going to happen. I know we're probably years and years away from a collection, because this one is coming out this year, and this one is coming out next year. My predictions on that for release is probably sometime around January or February, latest being March possibly. But anyway, forgive me, my throat is kind of killing me at the moment. For what I think Fighting Collection 3 is going to be for the majority, as I said, is mostly 3D fighters. or at least a lot of the 3D fighters that never really got a chance to show themselves a lot outside of like a few console ports here and there outside of arcades. And here's what I personally think a lot of the games are going to be, and what I personally think the logo for what to expect with this is going to be. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, the 2 in Fighting Collection 2 is the actual like format of 2 that they use for the Capcom versus SNK logo. Like if I go ahead and bring it back up real quick, all the other games that are a part of the second collection, forgive me, that's actually behind these guys. If we look at the 2 right here, it is obviously the same 2. That is something that I feel like may be important for the next collection later down the line. Why do I say that? Because my prediction is that the 3rd collection is going to look like this. Capcom Fighting Collection 3 EX or EX3, whichever way you want to go about it. I think we're going to pretty much get a majority, if not all, of the EX games that they have released over the years. I think that is a possibility for this next collection. I may be very wrong, and I may be spitting out a bunch of bullshit, but I don't care. I think that this is what could possibly happen, because if these guys were able to make this collection, and even this collection happen, I think they can make anything happen. So, here's what I'm thinking that the next collection is going to contain. Now, give me 1 second while I just readjust a few things and hide a few things here and there. Boom, 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 boom. Wait, why the fuck are you still there? Okay, so here is what I think the next collection is possibly going to contain. Starting off with some simple ideas. Obviously, as the title insists, I think we are, for the majority, going to get a lot of the EX games, such as one for this. Wrong layer. Such as one for this, which is Capcom Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha, which is the first EX games of them all. I think that's what we're going to be getting for the majority. EX Plus Alpha for the first EX game is the last one that they launched for the majority of everything involved with this EX game. It was the very final version that they released. After that, they went to 2 and then 3 and then said nothing about the EX games after that. Now, I know that it's not really a possibility because Capcom is not the ones that made this internally. They went to another company for that to make sure that this was possible. And because of that, they ended up making another game years later that was supposed to be an April Fool's joke, but ended up actually becoming EX Lair, which I think is pretty fucking cool. But that's besides the point. Forgive me as I just readjust my back real quick. Ow, fuck. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, and as for that, with that in mind, I believe that it is possible for us to get Street Fighter EX 2 Plus. I think that is definitely a possibility for the future. Could I be talking out of my ass? Possibly, I don't fucking know. But I believe it is a possibility of what is to come with these games. With this collection for the majority. And as for the other one, as you can tell by just the title alone of it, I believe EX3 is also a possibility. Now, again, I know I may be talking out of my ass for this. Can we fucking not with this? Alright. But I believe that it is a definite possibility. All three... Ooh. Fuck, hold on. And I just realized I gotta be on like a different layer for this. Give me 1 second. Yes, I was holding the pencil with my fucking teeth. If you have a problem with that, then screw you. I have fucking controllers in my hands. I don't have like proper equipment to be like a professional VTuber in any sort of way. But anyway, I do believe that all three of these games are a possibility for the collection. Again, may I be talking out of my ass with this? Maybe. I don't know. But I do believe a majority of the games that are going to be in this third collection are just going to be specifically all the EX games in general. EX plus Alpha, EX2 plus, and EX3. EX3 is one that I kind of really want to try, even despite the fact that it is labeled as possibly the worst of the EX games. Reason why I say that is because, like, from what I've seen from videos and even research, I think it is going to be just a game that is just built for fun and fun specifically. Is that a problem for a lot of fighting games? Depending on how you really like to view them. I think fighters and even just games in general, no matter what they're supposed to be, should just be labeled as like something that's very fun. That's what we do with the games anyway. Doesn't matter what they are. They could be a fighter. They could be an adventure game. They could be an RPG of some kind. Hell, they could be a puzzle game just in general, like Tetris. They're built for fun and fun alone. Have we not learned from the past here, people? Fuck. Yeah, like, have we not learned from the past of what we really want to make sure that games are? But I'm going off on a tangent. I think that these are going to be the majority of a lot of the games that we could see in the third collection if they decide to make a third one later down the line. Could it be possible? Maybe. Is it possible? A bit unlikely, but considering what they've done in the past and what they're doing right now, I think it's possible. Very possible. Because right now, I think when it comes to Nakayama-san and Matsumoto-san, they really want to make sure that they can please as many people as they can. Because, like, look at the way that they ended Street Fighter V. Well, yes, it started off very rough. It ended on a very big note with a lot of patches that a lot of people needed and wanted and what the game really needed. And they even added a couple of things that a lot of people did not expect. Like, for instance, fucking Akira from Rival Schools. A game that has not been seen for a very long time. And they added a character from that game into Street Fighter V. Huh? What? Excuse me? Are you crazy? The answer to that question is most likely yes. But that is a bit beside the point. Why do I bring that up? Why do I bring it up, though? Is because they are definitely shown to have respect for a lot of Capcom's old fighters, no matter what they were, whether it be a 3D fighter, a 3D arena fighter, or even just like their 2D fighters, just in general. I'm pretty sure they even loved a lot of their beat 'em ups from the way they just talk about their fighting games a lot. They have shown that they love these things. They appreciate these things that Capcom has made in the past. I would not doubt that they have spent every allowance of their... I would not doubt for a fact that they spent a majority of their allowance as kids just to go to the arcade and play a bunch of Street Fighter or whatever the hell that they had at their local arcade. But that's a bit besides the point. A bit. Kind of going back to the idea of Rival Schools real quick. Now, as it's seen in Fighting Collection 2, we are getting Project Justice. Project Justice, from what I've seen and from what I've heard, has pretty much been the sequel to Rival Schools, which is not bad. Not bad at all. But I think it is definitely necessary to at least have the history of these games brought back in some way, which is why I think, if I go back here, I think Rival Schools, sorry, let me just get in. I think Rival Schools is definitely a game that we need to see in this collection as well. As I said, I think a majority of these games are going to be 3D fighters specifically. So, I believe with that in mind, Rival Schools should definitely be on the list of games that they probably want to bring to the public once again. I would love that. I would love to see that. I think it would be amazing to see that. I just want to, like, as I said earlier, I want to be able to experience just like a lot of these games that I missed out on as a kid. Like all these EX games, Rival Schools, everything that Capcom has ever made, and even some other games that other companies have made before in the past that were labeled as smash hits among everything and everyone. I want to be able to experience these games no matter what. And I know that that's coming just from like one person who had never touched any of these. I don't care. Like, for me, I want to experience these. And I think Rival Schools itself would be a good addition for this collection. Like, when it comes to it, I know certain people can only give the proper okay for when it comes to Capcom. Because from what I've heard and from what I've seen, a majority of the games at Capcom really have to be given an okay by the higher ups there. And that is something I kind of find a tiny bit bullshit, but I mean, hey, I mean, it makes sense, especially given the fact of how Capcom's past was with a lot of their games. Not to say that any of them were bad. It's just, it's obvious that they really have to like hold back on certain decisions that are made. So yeah, I know it's a bit rough around the edges, but it's fine. And I do believe that these games have a place. And this is coming from somebody that has never played any of them. I think it would not hurt to at least let people that are like me just have a chance to be able to get all these games. Like I said before, when it came to the original Fighting Collection, the first one, I loved all the games that they put in there, even despite the fact never having to have played them as a kid. I think it would be amazing to see all these games just come back. Like, because people like me, we've missed out on a prime opportunity to play these games no matter what. Like, for me, personally, I will say, I grew up, as I said earlier, I grew up as a PlayStation kid. I didn't have a Sega Saturn, I didn't have a Dreamcast, I did not have an N64, I did not have a GameCube, I did not really have any of these other competitor consoles that were around at the time. Never had any of Sega's consoles. The only Nintendo console that was my first was the Wii. I never had an original Xbox. I never had any of that shit. Only PlayStation for me for the majority of my life. And that's not to say that it was bad, but I was just more hooked up, as I said earlier, on games that I really wanted to play. And a lot of the games that I wanted to play were based off of movies and shows. Like, for instance, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Well, yes, great game. It was the only one I really wanted. But anyway, it's besides the point. When it does come to a lot of these games, I know that it may definitely be hard. But I think when it comes to these guys who are basically the heads of the fighting game division at Capcom, I think they can make anything possible. Especially with the fact that they were able to bring us Marvel vs. Capcom Collection, which is coming out in 2 days as of when I'm like streaming and recording this. 2 days. 2 days. And again, you could definitely expect me to play that. But it's just, if they can make that possible, I think they can make anything possible, which leads into my next game. With the amount of games that they have had over the years, a majority of them has usually either been 2D or 3D that have really put a mark onto the Capcom itself. One of them apparently was a game that goes by the name of Techromancer. Now, me personally, I was too much in a rush to like get all this shit and like get all this stuff prepped up. This was the one game that I sadly didn't really get a lot of chance to like look into, but from what I've heard from a lot of people, both in videos and even just from minor amounts of research that I was able to do, this was basically a quote unquote sequel to Cyberbots. Now I know that's technically not true, but it's like it's the closest that I could like get to a proper comparison to previous games that they have made over the years. And when it comes to it, I loved Cyberbots. I love that game. I wish they would make another one, but we're stuck with what we have in the moment. But I'm not complaining. But I think that this would definitely be a very, very, very good addition to the collection. Sure, a lot of people that see this are just gonna be like, really? That one? Yes. I don't care if you think it might be weird. I don't care if it's not really considered one of Capcom's highest rating games in the world or whatever. It's one of their games, and I know for a fact that like, what are the names again? I'm gonna have to look again. Hold on. Deeply forgive me. I am just really trying to make sure that everything is proper here. All right, yeah. I think that Nakayama-san and Matsumoto-san are really dedicated to these older games. And when it comes to it, I wouldn't doubt that they want to bring back everything. I would not doubt it. If they want to bring back fucking... If they want to bring back Fighting Jam, of all games, Fighting Jam, a game that I heard is probably one of Capcom's worst, if not the worst that they have ever made and put out into the public, then I mean, they'll be wanting to like bring back this at the very least. So that's why I say this is definitely one game that should definitely be on the list of ones that they want to bring back. Now, as for another one though, as for another game that they should probably bring back in some way, I think this one would also be a good one. Star Gladiator. Yes. I believe... Fuck. Okay. I believe that this game should have a chance as well. And I know what you're thinking, but we already are getting Plasma Blade. Isn't Plasma Blade just basically Star Gladiator 2? Yes, it is, from what I've gathered with research and seen from a lot of videos and other stuff. It is basically... The Plasma Sword is basically the sequel to this game. But that doesn't mean that I think this game should still have a chance. Because again, if I think that Nakayama-san and Matsumoto-san really think that Fighting Jam could have a chance, then this game can have a chance as well. It's really just a matter of like what they want to preserve for Capcom and what they want to bring back and just like everything, you know? It really ties down to just where they want to go with this stuff. And if they want to go big or go home, then I mean, hey, I think this is probably the best that we're going to be able to get. So I think Star Gladiator should have a chance. And no, I'm not biased with the fact that it has Star in the name. All right, shut the fuck up. Okay, now, when it comes to it, okay, this is actually something I kind of want to bring up. All right, I mentioned Fighting Jam, which is also Fighting Evolution for anybody that doesn't know. We're going to ignore that. And anyway. So I mentioned Fighting Jam, and that is very important because of the fact of this, right? Fighting Jam was supposed to be one particular game, but because of how it was viewed by the public, both by testing groups in arcades and even by Capcom themselves somewhat internally, they sadly had no choice but to just take the game and just toss it to the side and say, yeah, that's done for. We're never going to launch that. And just kept it in a vault for nobody to see. And because of that, words, work with me. Sorry. And so because of that, Capcom said, well, we spent all this money on a game. What the fuck are we gonna do to get the money back? And so because of that, Capcom decided to go to their fighting division and say, hey, we need a fighting game out there, and we need it made as cheaply and as quickly as possible. So get to it and get whatever you can out there as soon as possible. And this was at a time where like Capcom, for the majority of the part, was just like focusing on a lot of their other games like Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, and so many others at the time. And so with that being in mind for a lot of them, they had no choice but to basically reuse a lot of assets from older games, such as Third Strike, Street Fighter 2, the Darkstalkers games, Red Earth, and like one other Street Fighter game that I can't remember at the moment, and even an asset from a game that never launched and was put into pretty much, I think, if memory serves me correctly, as a last second addition. And that was a character that I cannot remember right now. What was it again? I want to look it up on my iPad, but I don't want to really like reveal anything in mine, so I'm gonna just look it up real quick on the side. If you hear noises on the side, just ignore that. Alright, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, alright. I'm sorry, I'm only just doing this so that way I can remember the name of the character. I cannot remember it for the life of me right now. Where the fuck is she? There she is. Ingrid. Okay, so yeah. They reused an asset for a character from the game that they were going to use, named Ingrid, put her into the game with her own original sprite, and is pretty much the only original sprite in the game. As for all the other sprites, they were ripped from the games that they were supposed to be used in, as said Street Fighter, Third Strike, Street Fighter 2, Red Earth, and all that other stuff. But when it comes to this game specifically, this is why I think it would be important to have it, because Ingrid was supposed to be a character in another, was supposed to be another original character in another game. What that game was one that never launched at all, and that is this one right here. In fact, wrong way. Let me actually just... Okay, there we go. This game right here. Capcom Fighting All-Stars. Code Holder. Now, I bring this one up because of the fact that it was the one game that Capcom never officially released to the public. And it's a bit upsetting because this was supposed to be the first 3D fighter that was made internally by Capcom. And so because of that, it cost a lot. And I mean a lot. And we're talking early 2000s to, or like, we're talking 2000s money, I believe. Somewhere between that timeline, I can't remember right now. But yeah, this was like the one game that was supposed to launch to the public, but because of how the public viewed it and because of how certain test groups looked at it, they said, yeah, we're not going to launch it. And they just kept it in the vault for it to never see the light of day ever again. Now, if I think Nakayama and Matsumoto are as big as a fan to release as many old Capcom fighters as they can, I think this one counts. So, I think if they are going to add an exclusive game of some kind, this should be it. This one little game right here should definitely be it. So, will they do it? Probably not. This game pretty much has never seen the light of day in whatever shape you can imagine. So sadly, it may not happen, but I would like to keep it on here just in case there's the small 1% chance of the possibility. I would like to think so, but even then I still have my doubts. But that doesn't mean I don't think that it might happen. But anywho, now this is pretty much the majority of the 3D fighters that I think is going to come to this collection. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different games. But I do believe there is the chance of some others that have not gotten the light of day. Now, as I said, we have 7 games on here in this collection. Could all of them be a possibility? Probably or probably not. But I think there is a good chance that it is a possibility to happen, whether we like it or not. But that doesn't mean I don't think that there are at least going to be some other games. We might have one 2D game that could possibly come back in some way, shape, or form. Or at least possibly 2 to 3 if memory serves me correctly. And that is one game that hasn't seen the light of day in a hot minute, and that is Final Fight. If I can move it all the way up real quick, don't mind me. There we go, Final Fight. I believe that Final Fight might have a chance to come back to the public once again via through Final Fight 1, 2, and 3. Could it come into this collection? Probably not, but I would like to think that it could. It probably already has been in the collection, but I don't really remember. remember if it has or not, but it would be cool to at least see it. And the reason why I put this on the list is because when it comes to the Marvel collection, we have all 6 of the fighters that Capcom has produced for Marvel and even the public, and 1 beat 'em up specifically. We have for the fighters X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2, as well as the Punisher beat 'em up. Now, if they're going to make this collection somewhat like any of the other collections before it, I think it wouldn't at least hurt for them to put Final Fight into that collection. Would they put it in the collection? Probably not. I mean, I do know about the beat 'em up collection, and I forgot if that is in there, but I think it wouldn't hurt for them to at least put this game, or at least any of the other Final Fights, into this collection. I think it would at least be a nice addition, just as like a little side thing in case somebody's just like, hey, look at that, they have a beat 'em up in this. I want to try it out real quick. And then bada bing, bada bam, we got it in there. Everything is just right in rain with this. Now, again, I don't remember if they did put it in another collection of some other type in any way, shape, or form. They probably have. I just can't remember it right now, but that doesn't matter. I think it wouldn't hurt to at least have Final Fight be put into this collection in some way, shape, or form. Whether it be with 1, 2, or even 3, I don't care. Hell, I mean, they could put in like a Secret 4 that we don't know about, and I'd be happy with that. But anyway, I think for the majority of it, we are mostly just going to be seeing like 3D fighters and 3D fighters specifically. Will it be all of these? Probably not, but I would like to think that that could be a possibility. And still though, I would love to at least like see this be a possibility, because I think Nakayama and Matsumoto are very passionate about these games and just really staying out in the public. So if they are really that passionate in making sure that all these games are still seen by everybody, whether it be adults, kids, teenagers, no matter what the cost, they want to make sure that these games see the light of day to somebody, and possibly may even like spark the same interest that they had growing up. Could it be possible? Probably. But I am neither one of those guys. But I know how passionate they are about their fighters. No matter what, I'm pretty sure they want to make sure that everybody in the world, no matter where they are, whether it be in the US or where I'm from, back in Japan, hell, I mean, they could even reach out to like Germany if they want to. I don't fucking know. They just want to make sure that anybody and everybody can see these games for the majority of the part. So, do I think that this is going to be the possibility of what we can expect for the Fighting Collection number 3 to come out possibly the next year after Fighting Collection 2? Yes, and to even prove it, I am going to stamp down my name to sign as a format of saying, yes, I believe that this is a possibility, to show the world, yes, I mean business, and I am serious of the fact that I want this to be a reality. Yeah, boy, I fucking fucked that up. You know, for the amount of time that I practice this little signature of mine, I would be able to get it right, but no, shit just doesn't want to work half the time. That, and also I am on a old iPad of mine that has a very horribly cracked screen. So, be a bit patient with me. Bada bing, bada bam. That is what I think we can expect for the future of this collection. Now, again, do I think this is a possibility? No.
Hello.
Fuck me. Hi, Shep. How you doing, brother? That fucking freaked me the fuck out. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing good. Sorry, I couldn't join you. This was pretty much the important thing that I was talking about. By the way, I might need to talk to you about something later. But yeah. When it comes to this, do I think all these games are a possibility? No. Shit, didn't mean to scare you. I'll go back to throwing things. Yeah, sadly, you won't be able to do that. My throwing system is currently off. Tits is not working at the moment. So, save your throwing. The reason why I say that is just because, like, I don't really think, the throwing system, yeah, no tits, sadly. We got no tits at the moment, so, yeah, I'm sorry, all right? I wanted to make it work, but I just didn't know how I was going to be able to do this when it was live, all right? I'm sorry. But yeah, anyway, back to what I was doing. Shep, to give you a bit of context, I was showcasing what I think another Capcom collection would look like with a bunch of different fighters, and I plan on hopefully turning this into a video later, and yeah, I might have some work for you later. We'll talk about it at a different time, though. We'll talk about it at a different time. But yeah, I was just about to, like, somewhat do a bit of an outro real quick, so okay, just let me know. Cool. All right, but anyway. Now, as I was saying, do I think all these games are a possibility? Not entirely. At least for, like, this whole collection. Could they come back out later down the line? Maybe. I wouldn't say that they would be a part of this collection entirely, but I would love to see that. I want to be able to make sure that these games do see the light of the words. I want to make sure that these games do, at the very least, see the light of day again. Because I feel like when it comes to some of these, even as somebody that's never played them, I would love to see them just come back in some way. Like, as I said before, when it comes to the next collection that's going to be coming out later, distraction, fuck you. When it comes to the next collection that's coming out later, which is Capcom Fighting Collection 2, we have Capcom versus SNK, a game that people thought wouldn't really come back again. But, I mean, honestly, though, we have, like, Terry Bogard and My Sheer Newbie coming as guest characters in Street Fighter 6. So, I mean, Terry, as far as I remember, Terry is pretty much already in the game. So, there's that. But, I mean, when it comes to that, it shows that Capcom and SNK, and even with the Marvel collection, their relationships are getting better once again to how they were before. I love to see that. And even as somebody who really loves seeing companies work together, no matter what the project, I would like to see another versus game of some kind, whether it be with Marvel or whether it be with SNK. I would love to see something. I would love to see not only a game like that come to fruition in some way, shape, or form, but I would like to see these games, as I said before, just fucking brought back in some fucking way. I think it would be amazing. I think it would be cool. I think it would be awesome. Even, again, as somebody that never played them. But I guess when it does come down to it, it really just depends on who you ask. Could these come back in some way? A lot of people would probably say no. But for me, as somebody that's been paying attention, been looking into the stories, been seeing what's been going on with the community, and even just in the companies themselves, I think it could be possible. I would love to see some of these older games brought back in some way, shape, or form. And hell, it doesn't even have to be Capcom. I would love to see, like, I think it's like fucking man, who's the people that made fucking who made Castlevania? Who are the people that made Castlevania again? Like, I'm not trying to say like a Castlevania collection because we already got that earlier. I saw that in like one of the previous Nintendo Directs. I can't remember which one, but there was that, and no, not Namco. Who the fuck? You know what? Fuck it. Hey Google, who is the company that made Castlevania? Konami. Yeah, all right. I believe if I am correct, Konami is the ones that own Bloody Roar. I bring that one up because it was one of the first few fighters that I was introduced to as a kid. I had like a little demo disc for my PS2, and I put that shit in. I played it with my brother, and I loved every single minute of it. I would love to see collections like this just like bring back all these old games again for the new age, whether people would like it or not. I want to see like Konami do that with like Bloody Roar, if they're the ones that own it. I forgot. But yeah, I want to see that with like Bloody Roar. Just they grab it, they take it over to the public and say, "Hey, guess what? Look at this!" And it's a collection of all their Bloody Roar games, or even just a bunch of their other old fighters. I would love to see that, but will we? Probably not, because fuck knows who will really show what makes money and what doesn't. I guess only time will really tell. Now, again, do I think this is possible? I would like to think so. Is it probable? Maybe. But it's just, I don't know. I guess I'm just being overly wishful. Do I think this really could be possible? I don't know. I guess I'm more just being wishful for not only myself, but for other people that really love this. Like, there are so many people that grew up with these games, right? I would like to see them just happy again, just having what really made them them, you know? Because we all have what makes us. We all have that one little thing in the back of our head that we will always remember. We will always have that one thing in the back of our head that will sit there ready to just help define us no matter what. It could be a small game. It could be a TV show. It could be a movie. It could be anything. Hell, it could have been one of these fucking games right here. Doesn't matter. We will always have the one thing that made us us, and have not only put a smile on our face, but also put a smile on other people's faces. And because of that, I wouldn't doubt that at least one of these games, or hell, maybe even some other one, like somewhere in the world, anybody definitely looked at one of these games, showed it to their friend, and was just like, "Oh yeah, I played that before. What do you think of it?" And pretty much spread out from there. And they probably even showed some other friends there. They probably showed some other friends these games as well. And then because of that, they really like put smiles on other people's faces and were just like, "Yeah, this is really fun. We got to introduce a lot more people to it." Because look, when it came to this shit was like at least 90s to like early 2000s. And because of that, the internet was not that heavy of a thing. So you had to talk to people about this shit. So it was just like, just one of these things. Like, for instance, fucking Street Fighter EX, just in general. Like, all these games. A majority of people looked at these games and said, "Wow, these are actually pretty fun." And then because of that, it brought a lot of people together. And it brought together the FGC, the fighting game community. And it's just like, it's a big community. Like, and I'm not saying that the alpha games are the reasons why. Yeah, really. I love you, brother, but damn. When it just comes to a lot of these games, they brought together so many people. And just to think, it even goes just for one of these games, or hell, it's a game that ain't even on this list. There are just people who love these games and will do anything for it. Like, I mean, do I need to mention, like, what happened with the canceled Crash Bandicoot 5? And by the way, yeah, that is actually a thing that happened. They canceled a Crash Bandicoot 5 that was supposed to also be a crossover with Spyro the Dragon. Really? I mean, hey, we all can't be winners here, I guess, right? But anywho, it's just crazy to think that like all these games that have really brought a lot of people together are just being locked away in a vault for nobody else to play except for probably the people that have them, the people that made them, the people that like have these games just sitting in a vault for nobody to touch. It's a bit sad. I would like to see these games come back and thrive in some way. But will they? Well, again, I guess only time will tell. I guess I'm just gonna be one of those idiots that will sit here just thinking, hey, maybe it might be. But who knows? Who knows? You're really having fun with those emotes, aren't you, Shab? But yeah, I guess that's my rebuttal for this. So, Capcom, if you somehow see this, please just keep everything I say in mind and just maybe give them a chance. Because who knows? Maybe you might bring back a lot more people. Maybe you might bring in a lot of new people. You may be able to introduce them to shit that they never knew existed. You just have to be the ones to really just say, you know what? Let's try it. And I know that it has probably failed you once or twice in the past. But you have prime opportunity nowadays. You have the internet. You have people that are willing to give you the cash. You have people that are willing to make these ideas happen. You have the people that will go to any which length to make sure that this shit can succeed. And you're just doing nothing with it. And I know that's probably to say a lot with a lot of other companies as well, but it just wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to at least say yes to one project that hasn't seen the light of day for who knows how long. It would just be cool to see these come back in a major way, whether it be a new installment or hell, even another collection. Just for somebody that has never seen. I think that just shows how my iPad is acting with that. Probably should just switch over to just chatting in a second. But anyway, as somebody that just wants to see these games succeed in some way, shape, or form, I don't know what that was. It was just like, as somebody that wants to at least see these franchises succeed in some way, shape, or form, it wouldn't hurt. Okay? Just greenlight at least one of these. You might actually be able to save not only yourselves, but your entire fan base as well. And with that being said, just do something. Something. This is just an outro for the video, but yeah. And I guess with all that being said, I'm signing off. If I ever make another video, then hey, whatever. I'm serious, by the way, Capcom. You have a lot of potential. Do you really want to waste it? Do you? Hopefully you go somewhere. Alright, but yeah, that's basically how my video is going to end. Now, time to switch over to just chatting. Now, I know it was definitely a bit weird for me to do, like, making a video live, but I kind of wanted to try something a bit new. And I know it's weird for me to say that, especially with the fact that it's like, I have obviously like turned a bunch of my VODs into like YouTube videos, but that's just like to obviously experiment and just try shit. Will this work? Maybe, maybe not, who knows. But it's just more or less me just wanting to try something new. And hopefully some good words might actually be able to get out to somebody at Capcom. Will it work? Probably not. But I'd like to see, so... But I guess... Again, only time will tell. Alright, hold on one second. Let me actually just... get, like, the camera here set up. in a way that is a little bit more nicer. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay. But yeah. Needless to say, yeah. That's my thought process on what I think the next collection might be after 2, in possibly 2 years from now. Or possibly 1, who knows. But yeah. Real quick to you, Shep, if you're still here, buddy. Again, sorry for missing out on playing. I just needed to get this all out of my system because, like, I've been having this sit in the back of my head ever since Collection 2 was announced, and I'm like, bro, what could possibly happen? All right, yeah, cool. But yeah, that being said, I think it wouldn't hurt to raid out. But first, I need to grab something. Where is it? There it is. I needed to grab a water real quick, so yeah, forgive me 1 second. I need to fucking get this controller out of my hand so I can actually open it. There we go. Excuse me. Wow, that actually makes my throat feel a lot better. I should have drank some water earlier. Yeah, I did not drink water that entire time. Holy shit, you're warm. Hold on, what is this? There goes your hand. Yeah, so for context, I'm currently in VR chat, and I'm no shit in a green screen world, which is kind of why my eyes are a bit fucked at the moment. And even these little LED parts here, like you see that. I got RGB sort of lights that have colors that you would never imagine to be on the light. But yeah, what was I talking about? But yeah, oh yeah, I just basically I'm basically doing this all in VR chat, and VR chat had an update that kind of like fucked with Valve Index controllers a little bit. Like for instance, like I have like full like finger tracking, but if we look at the back of my palm, my fingers go through the back of my palm. Yeah, that even goes with this one too. Like I don't know if you can look at that. I'm stabbing my hand with my own fingers. How is that possible? Oh, yeah. VR chat be VR chat sometimes. Yeah. I also think even prove it a little bit. Like if I put on my jacket real quick, it's kind of a little hard to see, but my right arm, whenever I have my jacket on, is slightly transparent. You can kind of see the SF behind my shoulders if you just kind of look a little closely. But yeah, that's to say the least, a ramble and a half, I guess. To be honest, I expected to mostly ramble for at least like less than an hour. I did not expect me to ramble for an hour and 19 minutes, almost an hour and a half. God damn. God damn, boy. Alright, but anywho, I believe it is definitely time for us to end this with a raid. Mind the noises that you're about to hear. Okay. But as per usual, I'm gonna have to send off a message real quick. Oh boy, hold on 1 second. Forget the fact that my arms are down whenever I like get into a specific menu. My arms just kind of like to just be in a respectful format of arms down and just no touch. Great. Shift, boom, shift, boom, shift, boom. Forgive me for taking a minute. It is kind of hard to type in VR sometimes. But yeah, for anybody that wants to participate in the raid, boom, feel free to copy paste that little message right in there. Fuck, I'm trying to copy paste it myself and just VR just doesn't want to cooperate sometimes, I swear. Right, copy. There we go. Okay, now, to find somebody to raid out to. Will we find somebody? Most likely. Just who do we want to send it out to? is the real question here. Why the fuck did I immediately go to my stream? Alright, okay, there we go. I am just trying to set everything up properly. Yeah, there's just like a lot of people right now. I don't really know who to send it off to. Yeah, and forgive me for like the random formats and movement. I just am using the Valve Index and I am trying to navigate from here and there. And it is kind of hard to do so. Who to really send it to is a good question. Yeah, again, forgive me, it's just a bit rough to navigate around. Should put this on a fucking different screen. Yeah, you know what? This will fucking work. Give me 1 second here. Fuck, wrong way. Alright, sorry, it's just that, like, on, like, specific monitors, also, I should shut that off real fast. On specific monitors, like, they are, like, very, they have, like, more of a natural sort of, like, shading to them, and by that I mean a format that is, like, very easy to see, but one of them, because of how large they are, is super bright. I don't know how to fix that, and I don't really know if I would have the time to fix that. Yeah, I had the time to set all this up, but that's a different story. Anywho. Who to send this off to? There's a lot of people out there. Whom's to send it to is a really big question here. You know, are there any good friendos that are on at the moment? What have I got? You know what? Fuck it. Why not? All right. Person we're gonna go ahead and send it on over to is a good friend of mine by the name of Project Auron. We have already rated them before, but we're gonna rate them again. Why? Because never mind. They're ending stream. Well, ain't that just perfect timing? Ain't that just good time? All right. It's really hard to like fucking decide this shit sometimes, I swear. Especially when you're in fucking VR, like where the hell do you even fucking begin? You know what, might as well just go with somebody on like the lower end of, no, that's a better way to put it. I was gonna say, let's go ahead and rate somebody on the lower end of viewership, but you know what, nah. What I really meant was just like, let's try to like be a little generous to like some of the more independent people in the community. My way of wording things is very weird and just not very right. I blame the people I grew up with, alright? Not counting friends. Alright, this person. You know what, why not? Alright, I have found the next person that we shall send it off to. Their name is, Pickled Matt. Alright, why not, right? Alright, put this here so that way I can actually make sure. Alright, yeah, I did, okay. Forgive me, it's kind of hard because I'm typing everything on the bright monitor and it's kind of somewhat hard to see everything. Okay. Yeah, yep. This is definitely the person to send it off to. Let's send it over to Pickled Matt. Yep. Alright, but yeah, this was definitely a lot of fun. And it was actually kind of a bit of a nice experiment to at least like see how this would work out with VR chat. I know it's definitely a bit rough around the edges a little bit, like as I had mentioned before, like fucking eyes and even the little neck part right here is a bit scuffed. But I mean, hey, not every VTuber is perfect, all right? We embrace the scuffage half the time. What the fuck happened? Okay, all right, but as I say that, but yeah. Anyway, I believe. Hopefully, as I said, with everything will work out with Capcom, and hopefully I may be somewhat right with my predictions, but yeah. I believe with all this being said and done, though, thank you to everybody who's joined me since the beginning of the stream. I really do deeply appreciate it, and for those that stopped by to either say hi and or even look for a bit, I appreciate all of y'all as well. It means a lot, and you take some time to see this dumbass who smiles on your screen for no reason whatsoever. But yeah, anyway, with all that being said and done, I'm Star, and I'm signing off for now. Talk to y'all later.